The seven sisters has nursed him, the joyful, the white one, as he was born, the Arusha, with great might. As horses go to the foal that is born, so did the gods bring up the son when he was born. He is a joyful and white one, and he is nursed when born by the seven sisters. He is the great might. Is he a luminary that fills the heaven with light? Is it in the day or night that he runs across the darkness of the sky? Surely it is in the night that he is seen among the dark cows of the night. He is at once the young sun, a luminary of the night, or the lightning. The dark ones opened a path for him. I repeat, the dark ones opened a path for him. He has the eyes of a man and wings. He is the child of Deities. He is the bright sun and the bright light of the sacrifice. He comes at the early dawns, the beginning of the days. And he has two daughters, one decked with stars, and the other brilliant by the light of the sun. And these children are day and night. From all this, can anyone say what Arusha is? Is the young son of the father of day and night? Does he have eyes of a man and wings? Above all, the weeping ones, Rudras, the seven Pleiades, Meru, seven stars now known as Ursa Major, which in the north, traveling in its perpetual circle, never set. It would soon be noticed that this and other groups of stars retained always the same shape. The seven shiners were transformed first into seven bears, then into one with Arcturus for their bearward. The seven stars became the abode of the seven poets or sages, who enter the ark with Menu and reappear as the seven wise men. The seven rishis are the media or instruments through which the divine Veda was imparted to mankind, and that their names are variously given. The seven stars were necessarily converted into seven bears, while the sages, whom the Hindus placed in those shining orbs, survived as seven wise men, to reappear under different forms, as we have already seen. The Pleiades and Ursa Major were the only two groups of seven stars each that were anciently regarded with reverence and watched with interest. The Pleiades opened the spring at the vernal equinox, 3,000 years before Christ, rising a little before the sun. And the great Arctic constellation never set, but always kept its unvarying circle around the Pleiades, as manifested by the flashing glories of the aurora. It is well said that the seven sisters nursed Arus, the flaming radiance of the sky, as coming with the dawn, manifested by the glowing flames that herald the rising of the sun, and seemed to blaze among the clouds. The seven intelligent sages, who ascertained that the bright cows of the dawn were hid in the cavern, and by sacrifice persuaded Indra to recover them. The seven rishis, or sages, a name of this kind for such a constellation known to all the people and in common use, would outlive traditions and remain. May all the fatal nooses which stand spread out 7 by 7 and threefold catch the men who tells a lie. May they pass by him who tells the truth. The 7 points of the compass with their respective sons, the 7 Hatri priests, and the 7 gods, the 7 mother streams, 7 flowing. The 7 rishi were the constellation of Ursa Major, 7-wheeled car, the measure of the spheres, 7 stars of Ursa Major as his 7-wheeled chariot, and the 4 stars of Ursa Major that form a square, when the bright star between them and Ursa Major for the reins. Taurus, the 7 rishis, translated in like manner to heaven, became the 7 stars of Ursa Major, and that constellation received the name of the 7 rishis. And these stars were in all likelihood originally the Amsha rishis, thus reputed to have been invested with immortality and translated to heaven, became stars, and stars forming a particular group or constellation were the Rebus. They were therefore said to be brilliant as the sun and associated with the ceremony, the sacrifice, and with Indra, the light, traversing the sky. They are swift as the winds and borne quickly across it by rapid speeds. that they are doers of good works means that they exert beneficial influences. The 7 intelligent sages, the 7 stars of Ursa Major, having ascertained that the cows were concealed in the strong propitiated by mental devotion, they recovered them all by the path of sacrifice. For Indra, knowing and yielding to their wishes, 7 sages, having ascertained that the cows were concealed in the fastness, prayed mentally to Indra, and the sure-footed, sure followers of the trail, or the path, aware of the proximity of the cattle by their lowing, effected an entrance and came to where the kine, destined not to be then slaughtered, were confined. 7 stars of the Great Bear, the 7 rishis or sages, originals, the 7 who preside over the 7-wheeled chariot, are the 7 horses who draw it. 7 sisters ride in it together, and in it are deposited the 7 forms of utterances. He, Varuna, who dwells at the birthplace of the streams, the Lord of the 7 sisters. Love and peace to all. I'm doing studies of my forefather. This is from the Indo Aryan Deities and Worship as contained in the Rig Veda. This is by Albert Pike. I just put down some bullet points that I wanted to go over in regards to the 7. You can go into the studies and see that I've been going over the North Gate and the 7, and I just came across this literature, which further confirms that I'm on the right path. Again, we are who our foremothers and forefathers were today without doubt or contradiction. So study thyself. So when I'm looking through this, I see that I've already been here before, but now it has to be perfected. When Albert Pike was living, he did not have all the keys because the keys was not loosened until the 1900s, as he passed before then. And we know who brought it when you go through my studies, who furthered the perfection and unfolding, which was Ali, the North Gate star, the 3rd star of the North Gate guardian. So you better get right with him and understand him, because you're going to find out if you're going to get through this North Gate or not. And if you don't know who Ali is, you're not going to get past. If you wrong, you're not going to get past. Just like in my forefathers' studies here. If you a liar, you're not getting past. But if you tell the truth, then you'll get past. Let your good deeds outweigh your bad and you'll be all right. And that's from the words of Ali, the North Gate guardian. I wish that I could get a hold of further literature of Pike's as far as what's sitting in that temple full of dust, because I know exactly what to go for. I know exactly what to look for. In regards to morals and dogma and this Aryan deities and worship as contained in the Rig Veda, I know these are reproductions. I know they're abridged. I know they've been switched up. That's why I want to see the original transcripts and manuscripts. So yeah, I just acquired this book. Again, I'm just putting out bullet points of the parts that I'm looking through. But again, I wish I could get further literature that ain't been released, because I would know exactly where to go to find parts that I need for me as far as the Delith, the Yod, etc. Just like in the beginning, very, very potent and very scary or spooky, I must say. Because my forefather does this with morals and dogma as well, speaking about the Delith and all that. And I was born named Del, and I'm the bloodline of Pike. Like it or not, believe it or not, you better know it. And go look at the Hebrew letter called the Delith. It's the shape of the 7. That's why I said I know exactly where to navigate when I'm looking through this literature. Anybody's literature. That's why Scottish Rite wants nothing to do with me as far as the Sovereign Grand Commander, how they're just robbing all the members. I'm not trying to get in and start slandering, but it's not slander, it's the truth. They don't want me nowhere around because it will get flipped right back to the way that it needs to be, which is telling the people the truth. Life ain't about drinking scotch and being a part of a fraternity and having parties and all of this craziness, man. It's about trying to gain your salvation through studies, like I said, through sacrifice. As Ali stated, thinking and saving yourself. Study, study, study. Study yourself. And what I have found by looking within is extraordinary and unexplainable, unimaginable. Just like I'm reading a newspaper article about Pike, the one who took over the succession after him, they were speaking about how Albert Pike, when he slept, he faced north. This man slept south. He did everything opposite of Pike. So why would he be a successor after Pike passed? It means everything got flipped around, vice versa, as above, so below, yes or no, fast or slow. I leave you in love and peace.